I don't know which order that Reg has chosen the photographs to go in, but I think if we start with the next one, and then if you bear with me, I'm just going to read through what I've written. So, the seal knot. It's another one of my hobbies. I managed to combine with my passion for photography. As a few of you may know, myself and Bob are members of the Seal Knot. It's a reenactment group portraying the life of soldiers and camp followers of the 17th century. We've been members for many years. It's around about 32 years, actually. Our children and grandchildren have all been involved in it for a spell in their lives as well. It all began when we went to watch a reenactment of the Seal Knot in Afton, just above Holton in Lancashire, back in the 70s. The thrill of it all was amazing. Bob wanted to join just after that, but I felt we had so much going on then we couldn't commit. We hadn't got married by this point, and neither of us could drive, so we were limited in what we could do. At this point, Bob thought it was a local group, not realising it was countrywide organisation. So do you want to put the next slide on? I think these ones are the recent images that I took at August Bank. So, right, a couple of years later, there was a battle set up at Leighton Hall. So off we went to watch. Again, another thrilling day out. After that, we got on with our lives and settled down into married life and having children. We were both involved in the Scouts and Guides. And at this point, and there were, again, was another 17th century camp set up. Bob wanted to ask this local group if they would come along to see the Scout group, this time in Overton. And Bob was hooked. He joined there and then, and was amazed that the guy who contacted him was from the West Country. We were asked what side we would like to be on, and Bob chose Parliament, as he thought they had a raw deal in the 17th century. We were given our chosen regiment, which is called Colonel Robert Hammonds. We're still in this regiment to this day. Do you want to move next slide? Bob was a pikeman, rising through the ranks to become a captain of pike, quite a prestigious role. I was a camp follower and mostly stayed on the other side of the battle lines with the children whilst they were small. Later, I became a musketeer, and boy, was that what fun I had. I was firing a gun. It was special reproduction, and it had to be proofed to be able to fire black powder. I had to go through the police and also have a black powder license and a shotgun license. Fast forward. Bob started to make gunpowder flasks, making one as a present to use with my gun. He still makes these to this day, and the flasks have a very good reputation. He sells them all over the world, literally, via the internet. When the children were small, I was always a dab hand at sewing, so I started making costumes for ourselves and also the children. This led on very quickly to becoming a very good business for us both. Fast forward again, many years later. Do you want to move slides? Sorry, Alan. Many years later, the children all grown up and fleeing the nest for university, we kept in the knot, where I swapped my gun and started shooting with a camera instead. I followed the battles every time Bob was on the field. I was on the sidelines, capturing moments for friends in the regiment. Finally, 3 years ago, I was accepted onto the Seal Knot official photography team. I have a press pass now, which allows me onto the field and also past the safety barriers to get better pictures. These pictures are used by the SK for marketing purposes and also the Society's magazine. Members can also request pictures of themselves as a memento of their weekend away. Next slide. You will have seen by the pictures, mind you, not necessarily at the minute because these are all new ones. You will see by the pictures the differences of images as my skills have grown. One I don't think would be competition ready without a lot more editing. They are taken really for the membership of the society. Yeah, seal knot is made up of two sides, obviously, royalist and parliamentarian. Next slide. Each side is split up into regiments, and each regiment has their own colours of cloth for their doublets to distinguish on the field which regiment is which. Each regiment also have their own colours, flags or ensigns. Next slide. The battles are choreographed and most of the time are following the original battle plans. Also, the battles even take place on original battlefields. Next slide. Each regiment camps in brigades, and there are lots of families who turn up for the weekend, sometimes longer, with caravans, tents, and even authentic tents. Some people will turn up for the weekend and will portray their character all weekend, sometimes driving home again in their costumes. Next slide. We have visited the most amazing places, far too many to mention, because over 32 years, I can't remember. Blenheim Palace is one that stands out most of all. We did our battle on their front lawn, while a cricket match was being held on the back lawn. All great fun. We've got members from all over the country in our regiment. Quite a lot of them are based in Northamptonshire, but we have two sisters that live in Texas in the USA. And we've also got a contingent, as I might have mentioned before, from Memmingen in South Germany. We've been so fortunate to visit Memmingen 10 times now, staying with our friends over there, portraying the 30 Years' War, staying for birthday parties and banqueting, 17th century style. All walks of life are also in the knot, including doctors, nurses, solicitors, architects, accountants, and we even have a vicar, to name but a few. We have a consultant surgeon in our regiment who is a pikeman. He lives on living history camp all weekend, cooking on an open fire. A great way to unwind. Next slide. Every person can join in with this group, thus making it a great fun for all the family. Children also learning 17th century history along the way. It was through the sealed knot that we became friends with our very own Peter Kay. And we still remain friends to this day, don't we, Peter? We have apprentice at arms, musketeers, drummers, pike, cannon crew, horse, preachers, and camp followers. So every member of the family can choose what they would like to portray. There's no discrimination in whatever role you want to portray, and it's their choice to what they would like to portray. You will often see women in the pike block, which is a pretty grueling role. I love to capture people's expressions whilst on the field. For some of my new work, you will see this. Next slide. The knot was originally founded by Brigadier Peter Young in the 70s. Since that time, the seal knot in its heyday attracted a membership of over 7,000 people. And I hope this gives you a little insight into the hobby that has been our family life for over 32 years. Next slide. I think there might be a few more. So if you just carry on, that's all I have to say. I hope you enjoyed it.